pick up there by Ned Shaw, who has had a pretty good year today, Drew. He's averaging 16 touches and at least one clearance a game, and the Lauderdale crowd are getting up and about.
They were in fine voice last week. Have been the last couple of weeks, the Bombers faithful.
So back into the middle now. Phillips and Holmes is going to be such a big battle and a beautiful bounce to get us back underway. Phillips and Sutton sending them near forward 50 again. Just a fist there. I think it might be Gridley. In fact, it was Jeremiah Perkins. So Alan Christensen's a really big out today, Drew, and it's going to be a 50-metre penalty. Waltzing down is going to be James Bealey with ball in hand. Hits up Hanslow. Just to the Eva 50. Stabbing kick forward. Glover. Here he is. And James Glover is going to look to get the first response for Clarence this afternoon. He's been a very handy player, James Glover. He averages 2 goals a game, 4 score involvements, so scoring heavily this year for the Roos. So Glover to get the perfect start here for Clarence, and you can hear the crowd getting stuck into him. Here is Glover. Kick just to the left face of goal, and the Lauderdale crowd are getting right into it, Drew.
Absolutely doing the utmost to put James Glover off there on his approach. It's a wonderful ball from Tyson Hanslow to spot him up and create the opportunity, but just a minor score. So the Bombers look to transition our defence. Preshaw flies in and takes a lovely mark from the side there. Does Preshaw. And you can send the Roos back inside forward 50 once more. Set up ball. Just floats over a couple of teammates' heads. It allows Tilly just to slide back and take the intercept. For the run he provides out of the defence. He goes looking for his ruckman Phillips out the back of that pack towards the boundary. Took a cool bounce for Perkins. Still it stays in. And eventually Howard quite content to want across the line with it.
So Blackburn and Fisher are going to be the opponent there and right in the goal square for those two teams. Fisher, I think, is a late in today. He's been really good, averaging at least one intercept mark a game, Drew.
Yeah, he's a rock back there in defence is Fisher as Phillips takes it out. Had some time, got it off to Hooker, who check sides 1 to half forward, broken up by Gape and paddled it out in the direction of Preshaw, but beating him to it was McManus. Handball across, a good one to Patton, sends him towards the forward 50, and Campbell Hooker takes the mark. And he can go back for the Bombers' second.
Yeah, he's been brilliant this year, Hooker. He's averaging a goal a game. 2 contested marks. He has been so good for them down forward. Coming back this year, I believe, from Dodgers Ferry, I think, Drew. So he's been really good for them down forward.
And we're looking for a second here. He's this goal kicker, Campbell Hooker. Can he get the Bombers an early break here? He sets it onto away from 40. Drifts into the post. Drifted late. Looked really good off the boot, but just a minor score.
So it is now Lauderdale taking the 6-point lead. Fisher. It might be Wiley to waltz him out. The fullback, Patton, just through the hands of him. Nice pick-up, sending them forward now is Luke Patton. Genuine 1-1 in the goal square. Cleary, and a push is being called against Jordan Lane. So Tom Cleary, his first win of the afternoon. One of the premier backmen of this competition. Chips it off to Howard. Patton pushed his man Preshaw under it. Fisher now just twisting out of trouble. Boscott, he's taken into the turf by Preshaw. And it's going to be a free kick going to Lauderdale. Stabbing kick inside forward 50. Lane, fist from behind there was from Cleary. Franklin, now Cleary mopping up. Off to Paprotny. He just flicks the hand pass back to Preshaw, and Paprotny will dance down this outer wing.
He shifts to centre wing. The mark dropped there by Glover, but towed off the deck up in the direction of Green. Green gives the handball back inside, dropped, but play allowed to continue. The Roos with a wide open forward line here as this one's driven in there. Martin back into space. Red at best takes the relieving mark.
It's been
so some key defenders standing up at either end for their sides. That one over the head of Holmes. Phillips has got 3 Roos shirts around him, but he takes the ball, bounds away, sends it up towards Blackburn, whose defenders had a slip. Some time and space for Blackburn to spot Lane, or Hooker rather. just put it on his chest. It suddenly opened wide open up in front of him. The hooker can go back and see if he can right his miss from moments ago.
Yeah, he's been such a good player for them this year, Drew. 30 goals, 31, so not the most accurate kick as we've already seen today, but just to give them more hope. They've been really strong this first quarter. It's been living down their forward 50, really, hasn't it?
They're firmly on top. Can Campbell Hooker get their second? This time he starts it on the perfect line. He drives it right through, and the Bombers have made a bright start in the preliminary final. They're 2-1-13. Clarence one behind, and they're putting it on the scoreboard, which is what they haven't done the last couple of weeks, despite some pretty strong starts in those games too.
Oh, yeah, certainly, Drewy. And good kicking is good football. I wonder if Alan Christensen spoke about it during the week. There's not much you can really do to rectify it in such a short amount of time, but obviously they've bought their kicking shoes here to Blundstone Arena, and Clarence are on the back foot early. They're trying to get into the first grand final since 2010, whereas Lauderdale, if they win, it'll be a rematch of 2019 up there at Utah Stadium. So really, really big game for either of these teams. There is no tomorrow for one of them, and at the moment it's looking like Clarence are just behind at the moment. So another bounce goes wayward. Ground staff doing really well. Look at the oval, looks in magnificent condition. The square for cricket at the moment. So Holmes winning the first tap down for him this afternoon. Just slapped on there by Bell Chambers. Phillips kicking it inside forward 50. Lane just through the hands of him. And now Clarence back off half back through Norton. Just gives a stiff arm. Dinky little kick forward. Hits up Bealey. On this outer wing, Norton kept running. Flicks it back to Bealey. Kick inside forward 50. Standing back in the hole there professionally was the vice skipper Tyler Martin. And again, one of the premier players in this competition is Tyler Martin, who just send them to this outer wing where Holmes will run out of tarmac and we'll see another throw in. It was a pretty big game that Friday night that you and Mitch were here a few weeks ago when Rewalt was in town. Clarence obviously getting the win on that occasion, so it's 2-1. I believe the form record for either of these teams, Drewy.
Slightly nicer conditions here today, yeah. Fortunately. I do remember that Jackaroo game, the definition of cold that night as Phillips went off the deck, couldn't get it. Now perhaps a chance for the Roos to burst forward. Put into the head, just going to slide over the head of Harper. Now to play for a ball in. The Roos look to pull one back and get going here this afternoon.
I'm really interested. I don't know why Christensen was laid out. I would have thought he'd be a big game player.
Must be health related. Gridley coming in for him was impressive last week. Christensen. Phillips paddled into a dangerous area. Seized on by Harper. Snapped on goal, and the Roos have their first of the afternoon. Well, they rather gifted that one to them, but Harper finishes nicely. Clarence on the board, and they cut the margin back to an even 6 points.
Yeah, he's been a real good player for them, Harper. He's kicked 18-16 this year, so again, these Clarence players not having a great time in front of goals, but snapping truly on that occasion. Just bent back enough. I must say, Drew, the conditions here are perfect. When I left Moona at about 12:40, it was absolutely bucketing down, and Blundstone Arena is looking a treat, albeit a little bit cold, but it's not as cold as we were speaking off air we thought it would be.
Yeah, it was certainly raining earlier this morning. Thought it might be a bit of a wet weather game of footy, but no, good conditions. No excuses for the players out there.
No, certainly not. So Holmes really needs to get going in the ruck here if he's going to be any damage to this Lauderdale team. Paprotny's stripped of it. Just got his kick away in the nick of time to half forward. Poland sitting underneath that one. Couldn't quite reel it in. And now we're going to see a ball up on the edge of 50. 10 minutes gone exactly into this quarter. It is Lauderdale by a goal. Umpire brings the ruckman back into it. Phillips with an easy tap down. Just slapped it on the right boot. Into the middle of Blundstone Arena. Just trickling forward. McManus tried to pick it up, but Lane got down and flicked it off to Patton. Sending it inside forward 50. Blackburn and Fisher go at it. In there was Bealey. Blackburn. Ratcliffe Boscott side along the boundary, centering ball to the top of the square. Blake Harper is the man to take the intercept, and the Roos are going to try a rebound again.
So from the back pocket, Harper will take over. Doesn't have anything immediate to kick to, so he'll take his time and drive it long in the Holmes direction, opposed to Phillips once again. Gets a long arm up and breaks that one up. Patton unable to keep it in. Trickles over the boundary line. 6 points the margin, midway through the opening term here. Preliminary final weekend in the TSL. It's the Roos and the Bombers for a spot in next weekend's decider. Bombers have started brightly. Roos just looking to claw their way back into this one. Really shallow throw, bounced up into the hands of Phillips. Now they send this one forward. Boscott and Blackburn there, but easily out the back in the end. Howard can take the intercept. Drives it out of defence. Sets a task. Norton in from behind. Spoils it clear. Now some numbers perhaps with the Roos, although took an unkind bounce back into Bellchambers' path. Gave it to Walsh, tries to bust through a couple, took him on, then got poked to ball, but the umpire had already pinged him. Advantage paid. Ballsboo now storming back the other way. Bit of a tough one for Green to deal with, but he gets to the outside if they can work it to him. Martin lays a goal-saving tackle and locks it in there. A few numbers lurking on the outside of that contest. Dolliver was going nowhere. He tossed up inside the forward 50 for the Roos here. Holmes works his way to the front, paddled down looking for Green, couldn't find him. Cleared up towards the paint of 50. Hooker, the Fletcher variety, just lying on top of it. The umpire says, I'll have it.
So, 12 and a half gone. Only 3 goals to speak of early in the piece. Phillips and Mapley are going to do the battle. Mapley winning on that occasion. Hooker just slaps it on the right boot. Tumbling ball forward for Gapin, sending them inside forward 50. 1-on-1. Holmes out the back. Brilliant mark taken on Poland. And now Holmes is going to line up for his first of the afternoon. They've drifted him forward. Mapley in the ruck. And Holmes to bring him back to even at Blundstone Arena. Big kick on the boot of him. He's kicked 13 goals this year, Noah Holmes. This one might be one of the bigger ones of his season. So Holmes looks like a relatively easy kick straight in front of goal. Noah Holmes to bring it back to even here. Just stabs at it and he loves it straight away, the big man. Holmes gets his first of the afternoon and we are back to even here. And I'm not quite sure the Clarence faithful have turned up, Joey, because Lauderdale fans have definitely let them know when they get a goal, but I don't think I heard any Clarence fans there.
They're all behind the glass,
Oh,
up in the club rooms, probably slightly nicer in there, but they'll be pleased with the response from their side after being jumped by the Bombers. Holmes driving that one through, and that was just a mismatch in the goal square. There's absolutely nothing Poland can do in that situation. He had centimetres and kilos on him. He just parked himself in front and said, you're not getting to this ball, and when he gets service like that, you're not going to stop him. So, handy little move there as we see Mapley having a run in the ruck against Phillips again.
I think it's time to scrap the bounce today, Joey. Just throw it up.
Well, that's generally my preference from the outset of games, Bowie, but we might get there one day. It's going to be a nice open contest every time. That's nice ruck work by Mapley coming over the top, but Hooker will handball back inside to Phillips and then sweeps it to Sutton, who turns and sends the Bombers forward over the head of Blackburn. Lane was presenting at it, couldn't quite complete it, swooping on it, Blackburn to the goal square, and Bellchambers tracked it the whole way, and he'll go back for a simple shot from the goal square. Lane looking slightly worse for wear after that contest. He's back to his feet now. Hopefully he'll be right to continue. Meanwhile, Bellchambers should go back for the instant response. And Jurley pops it through, so they'll be pleased with that, the Bombers. Immediately cancelling out Holmes' goal, and they restore their 6-point buffer.
Yeah, Bellchambers there did really nicely just to get it. It was a pretty easy kick, to be honest with you, Drewy, but sometimes it's the easier kicks that you can miss on a big final day like today. Bellchambers made no mistake of it. Back and absolutely slotted it. So back out to a goal here at Blundstone Arena. It's going to be Martin on. Holmes down in the goal square for Clarence. And Boscott in the goal square for Lauderdale. As we go back into the middle now. Mapley with the jump over Phillips just to try and get them going. Patton swooping on this one. Dribbling kick in the middle of Blundstone Arena. Tumbles its way to half forward. Howard just hand passing it to himself. Preshaw with a little bit of time and space. Stabbing kick over the top finds James Glover. He was called to play on. Hands low, back to Glover. Kick inside, forward 50. Josh Green just spoiled from behind there. Harper keeping it in. Gridley's first little win of the afternoon. He's taken over the line. What a spoil it was from Gridley, Drewy. Did really well just to get in front there and come from behind. Brilliantly done.
Yeah, we've seen some really good defending today from both sides, and there's another example of it. The ball seemingly perfectly placed for Green, but Gridley just timing the spoil to perfection. It's the Roos still on the attack here. Umpire spots something. It's a hold. It's going to go the way of the Bombers. So
they've got a spare down the line here, Drew.
Instead he'll poke it over the top for Phillips, and they'll try and tear off through the corridor here. The Roos have shut that down pretty well, though. Mapley, awake to the danger, just dropped off a kick behind the play, so forces the Bombers to go wide instead, just slows them down temporarily. Now a searching ball for Boscott, really made to work here, and Bealey gets there first. Boscott brings him down. It's a strong tackle from behind there, slings him over the line. Made him earn that one. So plenty of feeling out there this afternoon. You'd expect nothing less for a preliminary final in this historic final season of the TSL. Could be the last time many of these players play a TSL game, as it's back in. Mapley doing well since moving into the ruck, but he won that one down to Patton, who's brought down by Ryan. Umpire pings him. Holding the ball, Ryan will take the free kick on centre wing.
So Ryan just stabs it into the path of Norton. He couldn't quite mark it. Preshaw, balls boom. Sending them inside forward 50. Fist came from behind from Gridley. Mopping up on half back is Tilly. And now the captain, Franklin, will send it in the path of Sutton. Howard just intercepting that one. Balls boom's going to get crunched. Bang by Franklin. Umpire's called a push. Not quite sure about that. I love the intensity shown by Lauderdale. And he's hurt here. His balls boom. His ribs would have got absolutely caved in there. And he's done well to recover and get up and take the hand pass. Hands low, sending them again inside forward 50. Green, one bite of the cherry, 2-3. So he's going to line up from outside 50. Is he going to choose to go from that range? Boscott coming off a little bit of claret on the head. We turn our attention now to Josh Green, who has kicked 44-25 this year, second on the Hudson medal count. So we wait for the blood rule to be applied. Green is going to look to get them back to even here. He's been pretty quiet just in the opening of this game, but he's a big game player. What a return he's had to the TSL. He dominated the SFL for the Farn last year and the year before. He's made his way back. So just getting everything back to normal. Umpire like a traffic cop out there, just pointing in the right direction. And there is the whistle. So Josh Green is going to line up from outside 50. Leeds presents. Lauderdale faithful getting into him. Running around the arc of 50. Sending it to the top of the square, Josh Green. And it's going to be a goal. So Green gets them back to even here at Blundstone Arena. His first of the afternoon. And that run around on the arc of 50 was a really good kick, Drewy.
Yeah, it's just made those kicks from distance a little bit easier in recent years. And he used it wisely.
Especially with the breeze here.
Got the journey. Just carried to the line. Beautiful work. He's a goal kicker, as you mentioned, second in the Hudson medal this year. We know what class he has inside the 450 arc. And Clarence to win today. You sense Josh Green's going to be a big part of that, and someone that the Bombers' defence is going to need to keep quiet. So he's a match winner. He's had a couple of key involvements in quarter number one. None bigger than that goal from the paint of 50. Back to the middle. Mapley, another hit out. Doing really well in the ruck is the young man against Phillipson. Sets it in the Holmes direction, but it was really well read by Poland. But played straight on into Holmes. He's in all sorts of trouble here. Oh dear, a rush of blood from Poland. He ran straight into James Holmes. And he can go back for 2 in a minute.
Yeah, he just didn't need to do that, Drew, did he? I think he might have surprised himself when he ran off the mark, and then Holmes snuck up on him. Well, like you said, it probably was a little bit of a rush of blood trying to get them moving off half back, and it doesn't turn out very well for them in the end.
So Holmes for 2 quick ones for his side here, and 3 in a row.
How about his crowd?
Poland's faithful doing their utmost to put him off, but there's no deterring James Holmes as he drives that one through for the Roos' 4th of the afternoon. And they lead this one. They've flicked the switch here midway through quarter number one, and 2 quick goals there gives them a handy lead.
Turn back to the crowd. There, James Holmes getting stuck into him. Big crowd of Lauderdale here that you can probably hear him on the effects mic, just trying to put the Clarence players off. And it did work for them the first time, but might be running its race now. I'm sure we'll probably hear that all day though, Drewy, as we head back into the middle now. Mapley, like you said, has been really solid. He's really taking up to Andrew Phillips this afternoon. One of the only players who have done it all year. So he moved back into the middle. Phillips probably winning the tap down. Bell Chambers, Sutton, edging it closer to the 50. Wiley really sound mark there on Perkins. And looks to rebound. Paprotny just trapped on this outer wing for Clarence. 22 and a half gone. Not long left in this quarter. Well and truly into red time. Diving mark couldn't have been taken there from Harper. Just slapping it to the advantage there was Preshaw. Running into trouble though was Borsboom. That's the second time he's been crunched. And it was a nice tackle laid by Flynn Rackett on the outer wing. Just dumps a long kick down the line. Phillips came from the side. Crumbing the football there was McManus. Hooker couldn't quite mark it, and it's going to be a holding free kick to Hooker. So he's going to look to get his first. Campbell Hooker.
Second,
I think, yeah.
He's
I missed that.
His 3rd mark inside 50 for the quarter. He's presenting quite a likely target up there for his side is Campbell Hooker. He's had a couple of shots, one either side of the post. We'll see if he can nail this one.
So Hooker now from his range, just sends it. And it's going to not even register a score for Lauderdale, so just remaining a goal apiece. I should say a goal the lead to Clarence. They look to go back from full back.
Assessing the options, the Bombers doing a pretty good job shutting down the immediate outlets. And the change kickers here as well, the Roos. And men on the mark, the umpire just sorting them all out here. Eventually go again as Josh Green heads to the bench for a spell. Hands low from the side, couldn't quite bring it down. McManus scoped it to Hooker. Hooker on the run from 50, won't have the journey. Park back there was Cleary. He chips across into the pocket. And they'll try and work it along the outer side. It's a good ball, finds Glover working up at the football. He's been tireless presenting up from half-forward line.
I reckon what we might see today, Drewy, is a Gridley sort of tag down there. Josh Green and Gridley both came off at the same time. I might be just not getting it right, but it looks like it could be that way.
Yeah, it does seem to be the matchup. He's someone you would want to watch carefully as Holmes stoops, gathers that one, hands it back, and it's opening up here for the Roos. Just over the head of Glover, pitches inside for Hooker. Put some pressure on Tilly, but they're alert and awake to it, and now Martin can clear the area. Just blast it on out of defence. Hooker working up at the ball, taken cynically down without it. That'll be a free kick against James Beerley. Campbell Hooker has had a good opening term. Will take his free kick and half back.
So Hooker 25 and a half minutes gone here. Let's see what he can produce on this wing. Big left foot booming kick. Phillips is out the back, just stalking Mapley. His fist came from over the top. Franklin crumbing this one. Just got the hand pass away in the nick of time there to Ratcliffe. He's stripped. Holmes shrugs to tackle. Clarence rebounding. He finds his brother Noah nearly. But Tilly does well to intercept that one. And Lauderdale again from half back to half forward. Here is Stixie Blackburn. Wheeling and going. Jordan Lane on with the lead. Fist came from behind from Cleary. Just missed where the ball was, Jordan Lane. Flicked the hand pass back to Ratcliffe. Just went through the hands of him. Fisher, Cleary. Wiley just ducked his knees at the right time. And he's going to get a high free kick.
Geez, Tom Cleary doing some great work on Jordan Lane back there in that 50-50 arc. And he's won some big one-on-one battles in this opening term. Well, very timely spoils.
Oh, wow.
Going to be 50.
Surely not.
Walsh stood down on the deck. Seemed a little soft, but the Roos are going to take it. And they're going to try and take full advantage. Fires off a handball to Norton, and they get it moving quickly. Swings it in deep inside the paint at 50, but it's spoiled away from Dolliver. Now to play for a ball in as the sun breaks through here at Blundstone. Bathed in sunshine this ground. As we tick towards quarter time in the preliminary final. It's the home side. They've responded well.
Yeah, there he is, Gridley in green again, Drew. I think that might be the matchup.
And stride for stride with him. You lock him down. A late in for Alan Christensen was Gridley today. Bill Chambers fighting for the football. Umpire will go for it.
I think you'd probably rather that, to be honest. You don't want to see Christensen out, but it's probably a really good idea to bring Gridley into the game. Josh Green wouldn't have expected that to come his way as Phillips taps it down. Bell Chambers just hovering around the football, dancing out of trouble. Clarence, snap on the right boot there from Wiley to the top of the square. Push in the back, free kick. It's going to Glover. So Glover to extend it out to 12 points. It's going to be a really difficult angle. But he has had a really good year. James Glover at 10 goals. The average is 2 goals a game. So really big kick coming up now for James Glover. Looks like he's going to go the snap. Glover opens up the angle to get him out to 2 points. I should say 12 points, Drewy, but they only extended out to 7.
A bit of a let off there. Young Tilly just grabbing at Glover, just a bit uncertain on the goal line, and gave away a free kick. No real harm done there though, as Perkins comes in, couldn't take that one. And now a chance for Paprotny to swing the Roos in once more. Spoiled away from Glover. Wanted another free kick. Nothing doing this time. Sutton gave it off. A great tackle was laid though by Dolliver. Forces the turnover back to Preshaw. Now Paprotny from 55. Sets it up. But Black behind the ball was Poland. He takes the relieving mark. Swings it wide. Finds Hooker. Fletcher Hooker drives it down the line. Was looking for his brother. Thought he got one in the back. Umpire disagreed. The Roos now. Still time for a late score here via Preshaw. Went one way, then the other. Then he hands it off for Dolliver. He straightens up and heads for home. And Dolliver drives it through. And Clarence are taking over this football game. Since about the 10-minute mark, they've been outstanding. And they kick 13 points clear in the shadows of quarter time.
He's gone under the radar this year, has Jack Dolliver. He's kicked 22 goals. Averaging at least 1 goal a game and 5 score involvements. This guy, although he doesn't have the big names like Harper and Green, he's a really steady shot at goal, and you saw it there. He lined up perfectly. The kick did not look offline one bit, and the wind just drifted it back in like an outswinger. He did a really good job just to compose there, because sometimes the players might just fire it at goal and hope for the best, but he took his time under a little bit of pressure to go now and set up.
So 13 points, the advantage. We've ticked past half an hour gone in the opening term. Can't be too long left. Is there time for one more score, perhaps? Good tackle laid there, not rewarded. In fact, over the shoulder paid. That's going to be appreciated by the rather vocal Lauderdale faithful who are thrilled with how some of the decisions have gone in quarter number 1. They're letting their feelings be known below us right now, but the Roos will go forward once again. Hanslow will fly from the side. Reaching up was Phillips. Got it down to Sutton. Then he gives it off to Poland. His kick, an ugly worm burner that tumbles out of play for a ball in.
Yeah, so not long left, you'd think, in this quarter. Throw-in's just going to be right in front of us. Curtis Reed to throw it in. Phillips and Mapley, as we still hear the Lauderdale crowd get stuck into the umpire. This is what we love about local footy. Nice looking throw in. Phillips convincingly wins it down to Sutton. He's just dug into the turf there by Hanslow. Umpire quickly puts whistle to mouth for another ball up. So again, we'll see Phillips and Mapley, who's really took it up to him. Mapley, Phillips, silver service down to Franklin. Just fumbled at the wrong time. Here is Perkins, sending them inside forward 50. There was no one there, but kick's going to be recalled to the skipper, Nat Franklin. So, into the centre square we go. Not long left. It'll have to be a really quick passage of play, you'd think, to register a score. So, Franklin, stabbing kick inside forward 50. Standing underneath it there was McManus. But it's going to be a free kick going the way of Paprotny. I should say it was Belchambers standing underneath that one. Paprotny will get the free kick.
So the Roos at half back. Tilly with the fly. Couldn't quite bring it down. Ryan back the other way. Flicked the handball over the top to Hanslow. Now combining with Holmes. Holmes sends it towards Green. Took it cleanly. Then fumbled. Then recovered. Then snapped. Was just impacted at the last second. Gridley just got a glove on him. Just enough to put off Josh Green's shot on goal. Maybe time enough for the Bombers as Belchambers flicks it to Sutton. And Sutton goes looking for a diving mark to Hooker. Not completed in the end. He'll have to go back in for it. We're towards the line. Wiley will happily see it across.
How about that ball movement? From half back to half forward. It was Sutton streaming through the middle of the ground. It was that risky kick from Poland, which I absolutely love. And I think the timekeepers might have just gone on a lunch break, Drewy, because we've ticked into about 32 minutes.
It's been a long quarter. Is there time for the Bombers to manufacture one final score? Jordan Lane doing the ruck work. Takes it out of the ruck contest. Fires the handball off to Franklin. Standing shot from 45. Is not going to have the journey. Fly in the goal square. Spike down. Shaw first to it. He kicked the opening goal of the game. Now he's got some defending to do, as the Roos should be able to clear it. They do, over the head of Tilly, and that brings the first quarter to its conclusion. Clarence 5-2-32, leading Lauderdale 3-1-19, a 13-point break. It was the Bombers who kicked the first couple of goals. They shot out of the blocks looking fantastic. Really, from about the 10-minute mark onwards, Clarence really started to play some of their best footy, and it's a handy break they've got at the end of quarter number one, Bo Downham.
Oh, it certainly was. Some of the passages of play from either of these teams off half-back going into the forward 50 have just been... It's been visual chocolate, I think. It's been champagne footy, to say the least. It's been really, really good to watch, Drewy.
It certainly has. We'll have a quick breather here on the live stream. Be back in a few minutes' time with quarter number 2 of this preliminary final from Blundstone Arena. It's the home side holding sway by 13 points after quarter number 1. Plenty of feeling in this game. We'll be back shortly. So, welcome back for quarter number 2 here at Blundstone Arena, where the home side, Clarence Roos, lead the Lauderdale Bombers by 13 points after the first quarter of action. We'll see if the Bombers can conjure a response here in the second term, whether Clarence will pick up where they left off in the back half of that quarter. How have you seen this match through the opening 20 minutes of action, Bo Downham?
Yeah, it has certainly been, Drewy, one of the better games we've seen all year, I reckon. With both Lauderdale and Clarence taking a really front seat approach to this game off half back, trying to get their ball movement going. But I think Spear Ryan wouldn't have been too happy with that first quarter, Drewy. So will they respond? They probably got bet in the contest a little bit there towards the back end of that quarter, but I think it's been a really hot and contested game to start with.
You would have been impressed with young Mathley's work in the ruck. I thought Phillips was really on top of things early on when you mentioned how good Noah Holmes has been this year. But Holmes goes to the goal square, kicks that goal, and Mathley goes in and probably beat Phillips 3 or 4 times in the ruck. So that moved midway through the quarter. Perhaps the mix-up changed things quite nicely for him. And interestingly enough, Mathley going to start quarter number 2 in the ruck. So perhaps they feel like they're onto something there.
Yeah, well, with no Bryce Alomes, sorry to cut you off, Drew, with no Bryce Alomes, they really needed a forward target down there, and I think Holmes is going to provide that this quarter.
Yeah, he's starting in the goal square once again, so we're ready to go for the second term at Blundstone Arena. Can the Bombers hit back, or is it the Roos who are going to continue looking towards a rematch up north next week? Bell Chambers out after this one, just buffered it off it though, picked up by Franklin. He whacks it high inside the forward 50. Spills out the McManus direction. Pressure being applied, flicked over the top, straight to Ratcliffe. He fired it out to Sutton. Now it's back to Franklin for a standing start. Sells a little candy, then drives it towards Lane, just over his head. And will also elude Hooker out of play for a ball in. Good early clearance, but it'll be a forward 50 stoppage. And the mark they were after there, the Bombers. Looks like Jordan Lane will do the ruck work against Mapley. Tossed back in. Tilly now on the ball. He looks to swoop on this one. And he's brought down by Bealey. And he escorts him across the line and toss it back into play. So another magnet move there. We saw Tilly off half back in the first term. Looks like he's been slung onto the ball by Downham.
Yeah, I really like him off half back. He's got such speed and pace, good stamina. He could be someone, if they need some ball movement off half back, to go to. Jordan Lane gets the tap down. Blackburn shoved it back out to Lane. But winning that contest there was Bealey. McGuinness taking a nice intercept mark there. Wheeling and going. Kick just missing Sutton. Really dangerous. Preshaw just kicks it off. Norton slapping it onto himself. Phillips just pushed him. Reed got the hand pass away. And now Norton just kick over the shoulder. He finds Green, who might have been pushing the back umpire. Didn't agree with me. Dolliver, Preshaw, Holmes, edging so close to the 50. Noah Holmes out the back, but Patton's going to mop up at full back for Lauderdale. Here is Sutton. Just holds play up. Kick inside, finds Poland. Really nice kick. So Poland has a spare out now in Hooker. Just moving forward. Hooker sticks Blackburn. So what about that piece of ball movement there, Drewy? They just were able to get it inside forward 50 so swiftly as we see the big Sticks lining up for his first of the afternoon. It'll be a kick of about 40 metres with the breeze. Sticks Blackburn. He missed a few games earlier in the year, but he set himself right at home with 22 goals this year, averaging 1 a game. He's a star of this competition. The Hobart Airport tarmac as his run-up. As we see Blackburn cross the arc of 50. Kick is looking good. It's swinging back for Blackburn. He gets his first of the afternoon. The celebration is brilliant. Sticks Blackburn gets his first. And now just cuts that short. lead now, Drew, from Clarence. Stixie chant going around the ground. He would be loving that, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he loved that off the boot. And the Bombers fans very appreciative of his efforts. Fisher just had a bit of a slip there. Just lost his footing, and that left Blackburn all on his lonesome inside forward 50. Easy hit up, and he does the rest with a good finish from 45. Slightly fortuitous to have that much time and space, but as you mentioned, their ball movement out of the defence really helped generate that a little bit, create those wide open looks. So they get the first goal of the second quarter as we head back to the middle. Phillips palmed it down, couldn't combine with Sutton, so he goes himself and then shoves it to Bellchambers, who gives it to Sutton, who drives them inside the forward 50 again, looking for Blackburn. Parked in front, hammered away from him, as far as Boscott, who gets his head taken off. And an easy decision for the umpire there.
Definitely a duck of the knees, but he played it brilliantly, didn't he, Drew? Just to get that free kick. The umpire knew what he was doing. Everyone on the ground knew what he was doing. But he played it like a real professional, didn't he?
Angled the body, but absolutely clobbered around the neck. The tackling technique just not quite there. And that will provide Boscott with the opportunity to cut this margin back to just a single point. The 2 goals in the opening moments of the second term. And still Boscott. Plenty of finals experience for this man. And he just guides it offline. A minor score only, so let off there for the Roos and an even 6-point margin.
So now Clarence looking just to get a little bit of momentum. It's been all with the Bombers so far. As we see a nice mark taken from Howard. Stabbing kick down the wing. Finds Harper, who's worked his way up the ground. Wheeling and going is Jared Harper. Long kick inside forward 50. Green the target, but Preshaw coming back with the flight. Just dropped it at the wrong time. And Gridley will be taken in a strong tackle inside the forward half for Clarence as they look to extend this lead out to 12 points. It'll be Holmes now taking the ruck. Phillips, just so nice to Franklin. Holmes got his kick away in the nick of time. Strong tackle laid there by McGuinness. And we'll see another ball up for Clarence inside their 50. Holmes and Phillips again. Phillips, Franklin. He's got Hanslow to work with. Franklin just got his kick away in the nick of time. Sweeping up this one is Harper. Sending them inside forward 50 now is Harper. Poland taps it onto Franklin. He taps it onto himself, but Bealey, Glover rather, has other ideas. Green, tight in the pocket. Ball just bouncing outside the field of play for a throwing deep inside forward 50 for the Roos.
Just thought that one was going to sit up for Josh Green there, and he was going to conjure some classic Josh Green magic for a second. Not to be. Roos on the attack, leading this one by 6 points. Back into play, Holmes and Phillips. Holmes paddles it down towards Green. Jags back onto the left, snaps around the corner, and just misses. Wonderful combination there from Holmes to Green, just lacking the finishing touch on that occasion. That's the threat he carries inside the forward 50 arc, though. Ball hits the deck. He's always a danger. Poland to carry the Bombers out. He presses it to the deck and saunters out before guiding one up towards Phillips. And away, Napley. Preshaw's handball shut down. Crashing through was Walsh. Now Perkins got it to Franklin. Back to Walsh. He skips away and then a risky kick into the corridor. It'll open up if he can mark. He couldn't though, Patton. And now Borsboom might open him back the other way. He looks for Holmes. Just volleyed out of there by McGuinness. Bounced away from Norton and Preshaw, but the Roos able to get back on the ball here and thread one wide for Mapley. Turns inside, scoops the handball back inside for Hanslow. High ball inside, looking for Green. Smashed away from him by Gridley, but he got up over the shoulder. And it'll be a free kick to Green.
Not quite sure about that. I think Gridley did really well to hit the back position. The fist came from the top. But Green, the professional, just able to get a free kick on that occasion. But I thought Gridley was pretty defensively sound there, Drew.
The umpire just spotting an arm sliding above the shoulder. Did appear to be a pretty soft one. Can Josh Green make the most of it? He missed a snap moments ago. The set shot from a similar position. He's similarly offline. The umpire spotted another free kick though.
Oh.
And going to James Holmes by the looks of things. So, can they accept the second free kick and thread this one through? Holmes from the tight angle. Opens it up. Snaps truly, and Clarence do get their goal. So they do skip away to a 13-point advantage. A couple of pretty soft free kicks there. The second one they convert.
Yeah, looking back on that one, Drew, it didn't look like there was much there at all. I would have thought that Holmes crashed in to the player on the line, but I guess the umpires know more than we do. They've really took control of this game, haven't they, Drew? They've been paying the free kicks, well in charge. Three of the best umpires in the state out there this afternoon. Fourth rating emergency, so great to have the umpires knowing what they're doing. They've been big this year. Wouldn't have a game without them, but back into the middle. So he's out to 13 points now. Phillips. Kick inside forward 50 from Bell-Chambers. Leading the pack there is McManus. Just got pushed. Wiley. Perkins. Clearing, mopping up off half back. Kick just into Tilly. Picking it back up is Tilly. And now Harper will drag him to the turf for a ball up. So 10 minutes gone exactly again into this quarter. 6:39 to 4:26. He's currently Clarence with a 13-point lead. Lauderdale had a hot start as Bell-Chambers just kicked it into Harper. We'll see another ball up. Lauderdale had a really hot start and haven't really made the most of their opportunities. Going inside forward 50 this quarter. Lane. Wiley off the hands of him. He just got mauled by Boscott and Walsh. And we'll see another ball up. Playing in the ruck against Mapley. Lane got the tap down. Bell-Chambers. The umpire's gone over. And Bell-Chambers will see another ball up.
Clarence players appealing for holding the ball. The umpire was getting back to his feet. Tossed up once more. Cleverly paddled over the top to Boscott. Doesn't quite have enough on it to clear the two bodies on the line. Some sharp work inside 50, but just didn't get the elevation on the kick there. Phil Boscott. Really well done by Jordan Lane. The Roos survive it and lead this one by 12. Forced to slow play out of defence here. Norton sends it wide, looking for Glover. Sailed it over his head though. Out the back, racket first to it. Handball up over the top. It's tight to the line. Walsh crashing in after that one. Plenty of bodies around him. The umpire will eventually call for it.
Definite tag down there, Drewy. Green and Gridley. That's clear as day. Josh Green wouldn't have been expecting it coming into this game with Gridley not even in the side, but Christensen has pulled a coaching move. It was really, really well done. He's only kicked the one so far, Josh Green, so it's worked out quite well.
I wonder when that decision was made, when Christensen was ruled out or not. And I thought, well, I'll just keep that one up the sleeve.
Bit of Geelong about that, I think, Drewy.
Yeah, that's probably why I like it, as it's back into play. Mapley and Phillips run into each other, spilt out the back towards Holmes. Boyden going in the back there was Franklin. Now McManus laying a tackle. And again, it's locked up in the middle of the ground. Phillips wins this one down, straight to Norton though, who skips clear, and with that lovely left boot of his, he sends them deep inside forward 50. Suki swinging arm at the football. Dolliver has kicked one already, out after it, just protects the ball. That allowed McGuinness in, and he steps across the line as just the threat of rain suddenly about Blundstone Arena by Dowden.
Yeah, it certainly is. Expected to hit right about now, Drewy. So we might see a little bit of wet weather footy in round 21. Clarence and North Launceston played in some very wet and wild conditions here at Blundstone Arena. North Launceston getting the job done on that occasion. Phillips tapping it down, but only as far as Gridley, who just got set upon. In fact, it's Racket. So Holmes just slaps it behind him. A real big fist to his brother James. Running out of tarmac again. As the wind just starts to pick up here at Blundstone Arena. The umbrellas are already out down there. Boundary side. And very, very cold conditions. As the sun just starts to drift off. About 13 minutes into this quarter. Holmes on the run there was Dolliver. Paddles it to himself. Paprotny just lurking around with Ryan. Slapping on the left boot. Holmes slipped over. Dolliver trying to take the mark, but equally up to the task there was Suki. And he does really well. McGuinness kicked just over the head of him. And not great skill shown by Lauderdale this quarter, Drewy. Just with their kicking and fumbling at the wrong moments, they really need to make something of that as we now hear the rain start to pelt down.
It has gotten very heavy all of a sudden. It is belting down at Blundstone into this second term. Wet weather footy, the order of the day now, as Phillips dives on top of it. Umpire has spotted a jumper grab. The free kick will go the way of Sutton. Sutton short finds Fletcher Hooker. Half back. Drifts inside, then punches it down the line. Looking for his brother. Campbell couldn't quite complete it. Perkins with a few surrounding him. Gapin just paddles it out into space. Perkins goes back in. Climbing on top of him was Gapin. If they really wanted to take possession of the football in that instance there, they knew as soon as they did, they were going to be climbed on top of. Eventually, the stoppage. Phillips won it down to Walsh. Tries to bust through a pack. Walsh's kick charged down by Mapley.
Green's open if they can get it to him.
Well, we can take clean possession. Mapley with a good use of the body there. And now the Roos will take possession. They'll swing it forwards. Dangerous looking ball. Norton was there. So to Dolliver. He crashed the pack. Shaw repels. Sends it high in the Bellchambers direction. Just worked his way to the front there, Bellchambers. Couldn't complete the mark. Hands and knees scooped the handball back, but wasn't an easy one. Ratcliffe climbs on top. Eventually they force a stoppage on centre wing. Plenty of stoppages already this afternoon, but conditions worsen. Expect plenty more. Phillips should thrive in that, and he takes this one out of the contest and goes looking for Hooker. Dropping in front was Howard. Did well to break it up. That's out of play.
It's a 1 goal to 1 quarter here, Drewy. So it's been even, but so we see a free kick being paid. I'm not entirely sure what for. It's going to go the way of Clarence. So Lauderdale just getting the short end of the stick at this moment in time. Long kick down the line. Phillips stands under it. Had 2 bites of the cherry. Couldn't complete it. Now we'll see the ball up. So 6-3-39 to 4-3-27. Cripps TSL prelim action live from Blundstone Arena. Now Phillips in the ruck, just tapping it down to the advantage of Franklin. He couldn't quite make anything of it. Kearney just getting his mittens on the ball now. Stabbing kick nearly finds Borsboom. Couldn't quite reel the mark in. Has Paprotny. Clarence now through Ryan, sending them inside forward 50. Holmes is the intended target. Works his man out of the way, and Gridley does well. And now they're going to mop up through Tyler Martin, just in front of us here in the commentary position at Blundstone. Hook up, bringing the ball to ground. Tilly might have been took without it. In and under there was Ratcliffe. Ryan mauling Hooker, and it's going to be holding the footy. Hooker a little bit bemused by that call. So Keegan Ryan is going to have a ping to go inside forward 50 for Clarence. Not much presenting. Holmes wants it in a little bit of pocket of space, but Phillips is the man to stand in the way. Here is Phillips. Just crushed the pack. In and under was Mapley. Slapping on the boot there is Kearney. Kearney gets his first of the afternoon. And brilliantly done, Daniel Kearney. So they just extend the lead now out to 3 goals, Drewy. Kearney with a nice snap on goal. And I believe that might be his first goal in football.
They've been piling on the pressure of the Roos. They've been asking plenty of questions of this Bombers defence. Eventually, the dam wall does break, and they do get That second goal of the quarter they've been after. It's been a quarter where goals have been really hard to come by. But much like the first term, the longer the quarter's worn on, the better I feel Clarence has gotten. And they do get some more reward on the scoreboard. 18 points. It's the biggest lead we've seen today for either side. Over to the Bombers to respond in the later part of this second term. Lane into the ruck. He won that one down to Sutton. He was immediately wrapped up by Ryan. Lane holds off and pumped it down straight to the opposition though, and Norton now screws one round the corner. Green will fly and he'll take it. Josh Green, superb aerial work there, getting the better of Gridley. A chance to open up a 24-point advantage.
It's been living down the end of the Roos this quarter, hasn't it, Drewy? They're trying to put Phillips down forward to create a mismatch, but Cleary, he's wearing him like a glove at the moment.
So Josh Green will kick around about 40-45 out. He sends it on its way. It's working back. Does it have the journey? It does. The Roos have another one there, 8-3-51. And suddenly it's a handy break they've got over the Bombers. 4-3-27, a 24-point lead as we tick towards red time in quarter number 2.
Yeah, they just haven't been able to do anything with the football, Drury. They've been trapped. Every time they get the ball, Lauderdale, they can't make anything of it. So now it's up to their leaders. Walsh, Franklin, Sutton in the midfield. Jordan Lane, I'm not quite sure, should be in there. I think you want your star ruckman to try and get the game back in your terms. I'm not sure putting Jordan Lane in the ruck is one of the better options. To be honest with you, Drew, he's taking on Holmes. We'll wait and see. So back into the middle now. Holmes just tried to fist it out of there. Ball tumbling. Stealing this square. Franklin with a strong tackle. Protney so swiftly. Holmes chucks it on the right boot. Kick inside, forward 50. James Holmes. Fist came from Rackett. Mopping up there is Martin. Just tapping into the advantage of himself. And Hooker is dug into the turf. Ball just spilling out. Pre-short. Holmes lines up the goals. James Holmes for 3 to the top of the square. Nearly Cooney taking the mark on that occasion. And we'll see another behind to Clarence. So Lauderdale need to make something. There hasn't been that free-flowing ball movement that we spoke of in that first quarter. It's just been long down the line kicks like this. Harper just dropped it. Holmes wrestled his way out of that one. Harper flicked it back up to Holmes. Norton tried to kick it out of mid-air. McManus is mauled. Dropped the ball. Boscott tries to break 1 and 2 tackles. Bealey, Harper, sending them again inside forward 50. Strong mark taken there from Poland. Really sound.
He's kicking off behind play at the moment. Boscott and Preshaw getting stuck into each other on the wing. Play continues through the middle of the ground. Scooped up over the top. The Roos are going to go forward again here. Hanslow sets it high. Dangerous looking ball. Oh, just dropping the mark though. Poland goes back in for it. Going off the deck was Ryan. Just slashed a boot at it. Didn't have the accuracy he was after. A minor score only. But it is all Clarence here at the moment. A 26-point advantage. The Bombers in need of a spark from somewhere.
Yeah, they're just trapped at the moment, aren't they? They can't get it out of their defensive 50.
It's been locked down there, living up this end of the ground. Can they find a mark in the contest here? Boscott just worked out there by Bealey. Just edged him out, and now a chance to stab one towards Green. Broken up by Perkins into the path of Walsh. He's immediately wrapped up. And he tossed up inside forward 50 for the Roos once more. 26 points their lead.
That's when you need your teammates to help you out there. If you're Perkins, he just fisted it. He had a lot of time to mark it.
Lane paddles it down. Franklin couldn't collect. Goes back in for it. Holmes trying to bulldoze through. Toes it into space. Poland left it for a teammate in the end and then it's thumped on out of there. Phillips going to come from 2 deep. Spiked it away from Bealey, but the Roos back through. Ryan will dink it up inside forward 50. The mark is taken by Martin.
So Martin professionally shoves his opponent out of it. Green was bemused, and now Bellchambers is the target. Kick just didn't quite sit for him. Mopping up his hands, though. Now Paprotny. Stabbing kick finds Harper. Nice build up here by the Roos. Harper back to Paprotny. In fact, it's Hanslow. He's going to run from outside 50. Sends it to the top of the square. Lane dropping back inside the hole. And he does well just to take that mark there, Jordan Lane. Looking to switch it. Nearly got run down. Phillips got pushed out by Howard. Should have been a push, I would have thought. Cleary sending them inside forward 50. James Holmes on the lead. Brilliantly done there by Clarence to win the ball back. And Lauderdale are just very, very short for answers at the moment. Holmes is lining up for his third. He's been crucial as James Holmes, the skipper. And this to extend it out now to a 32-point lead on the brink of half-time. James Holmes stabs at it and went to the outer side for a minor.
So they've doubled their score. 54-27. Perhaps somewhat fortunate to get that shot, admittedly. Phillips rather cynically taken out in that last marking contest. But nothing doing for the big man there, and nothing doing for his side at the moment. They are looking a little bit lost. That might help them. Finally, a good, strong mark taken in this part of the field where it's all been breaking down. Can they get some flow now through Franklin? Pursued from behind by Green. Wanted a free kick for running too far. Blackburn had 2 to beat. That's easily just going to springboard back the other way. No pressure on them at all as Gapin delivers it inside the forward 50. Couldn't quite find the mark from Mapley. He'll go back in for it. Ran into a pair of Bombers. And he's brought down by Martin.
It really is just too easy at the moment for Clarence, isn't it? They're winning the ball back so easily. What the hell? Lost for answers.
Big final couple of minutes of this quarter coming up. Bombers can ill afford to concede another one. If they could claw one back late, it'd just give them something to head into the second half with. At the moment, 27 points in arrears and not looking overly likely. Gridley, first to this ball, just clears the area, but there's plenty of Clarence bodies parked back behind the football. Gapin there. He sets it up. High ball, 2 to beat there. Lane doing some defending. And now we'll be locked in once again. Gridley again forced to lay a tackle. Clarence really turning the screws late in quarter number 2. He'll land another blow. Hopefully ruck work there from Lane to Franklin, sliding in Boscott away from him. Gapin handball there to Bealey, just sets it high. Holmes from 2 deep, off hands. Martin cleared, kick outside the paint of 50. Boscott parked underneath it. Whoa. Flying over the top was Hooker. In the end, Paprotny scooped it back inside for Preshaw. Forced backwards, but the numbers are there. They've got it under control, the Roos. A flat floater inside forward 50. Took a chaotic bounce. Beat them all. Spilled all the way through to Holmes. Wrestled out of his arms by Lane. Then Shaw just forced to clear the area. Looking for Walsh. He had 2 to beat. They crashed into him. Preshaw went in for it, but the free kick will go to Walsh. And that might relieve some of the pressure. Gee, they've been under it, the Bombers.
Half-time couldn't come quick enough for them, Dewey. Clarence would not want this half-time break at all. They've got the momentum well and truly. Lauderdale need to come and find some answers as Walsh stabs it to the skipper and Franklin. A little bit of run and dash now through the way of Lauderdale. Boscott just tripped over and a strong mark from Gapin. So where do the answers come from for Lauderdale? Because at the moment they have got none. Holmes just stood under it. Franklin did well with the intercept, and that's a push in the back. That's really stiff. And you can't pay that one and not pay the Phillips one, I feel, but again, the umpires have a better view than me. Holmes. Martin with a big fist from behind. Tilly was lurking around. Stabbing kick inside forward 50, and Martin defensively sound on that occasion to mark it. Patton's out on this swing if he wants to go to him. He won't. He's going to go to the outer instead. And there is the siren. So a very, very sloppy half of football there from Lauderdale. Only kicking the 1 goal to the Roos 3. It was 5-2, 32 to the Roos at quarter time. Now 3-1-19. So they've took a big lead into this half-time break, haven't they, Drewy?
Yeah, 27 points The Bombers really need to regroup with this half-time break and started to drift away from them there. Clarence firmly on top around the contest, controlling the ball, and the Bombers really struggled to move the ball off half-back as that second quarter developed. A couple of times they did manage to get plays through the middle. They then burnt their forward targets, turned it straight over, so they've just got to sharpen up by foot, I think, is the key for them in the second half. But at the moment, Clarence firmly on top here. Unless something significantly changes in quarter number 3, I think we're going to be having the Roos, the Northern Bombers rematch in 7 days' time.
Oh, it's a good point, Drew. I need to look for some answers. Christensen, this is probably one of the bigger games of his coaching career at the moment, as we see Sam Siggins hobbling down there on the crutches. We hope he's okay. Obviously a big loss for them this year, hasn't it, Drew, with Sammy Siggins out. He won't be playing in the grand final if they even make it there. He's still in the moon boot, so he's been such a big loss for them, but they've been managed to just live a little bit without him. This time, Christensen is going to have to make some big changes.
Yeah, certainly when you lose with the best player in the competition, it does make things difficult in pursuit of a flag. But they're going to need to find some other heroes this afternoon if they're going to haul in a 27-point deficit. Be back in around about a quarter of an hour's time with the second half to see if they can do that. Whether it'll be the Clarence Roos making their way up the highway next week for another crack at the Northern Bombers. We'll be back shortly with the second half. So welcome back for the second half here at Blundstone Arena, where the home side Clarence Roos are well on their way to a grand final appearance. They lead the Lauderdale Bombers by 27 points at half-time. Pretty dominant first half from them. Can they go on and finish the job bow down them, or will we see a Bombers fight back in the second half?
Well, they need to change something. They need to change something quick, smart, Joy. Lauderdale, we were speaking off there, I think Tilly to half-back is something that they could look at. Just trying to get a little bit of run and dash. Out of the ordinary, I'd even consider putting Boscott. I know it's probably a really silly call. I probably wouldn't even think of it, but Boscott could be potentially someone to break the lines. He's not scared of a tackle or two to break through, and of course he's going to go straight to the bench as we mention it, but he could be someone I'd look to just to get a little bit of run and carry off half-back, because we saw earlier in the piece, when they were running off half-back, Drewy, they usually scored. They were very, very good converting when they were running off the half-back line, so really interested to see Phillips in the ruck, Sutton, Franklin and Walsh also in the midfield. Big second half for Lauderdale's future here. Christensen coaching from the bench. Really, really big second half coming up.
Yeah, both quarters started off pretty well for the Bombers. They kicked the first 2 goals of the match. They kicked the first 2 goals of the second quarter. But really, after those early exchanges, Clarence were able to just get on top around the contest, control the stoppages, control the ball around the ground, and set up the wall that the Bombers really struggled to get through, trying to build off half-back, struggled to move the football. It's been a similar tale in both quarters. Bright starts, just not been able to sustain it. So I think Alan Christensen, that'll be the key for his side, trying to sustain the effort for the full quarter. Of course, they've been good in patches, but ultimately Clarence have been too good for too long in this one. That's why they're 27 points clear as we get ready to start this second half. All is in readiness now. Umpire holds it aloft, and we're set to go in the second half of the TSL preliminary final. It's Clarence holding sway by 27 points as they look to set up a rematch with North Launceston next week. Andrew Phillips rises up, wins it down. He's round away and just lofted forward. He'll come down with snow on it. Lane crashing from behind. Couldn't take the mark. Umpire says he'll have it.
So now they're rotating. So they get Lane into the ruck. Phillips is a spare behind the ball.
And the free kick's been plucked, and it's going to be straight to the Bombers. So a chance for another early goal in the quarter. Lane getting the free kick out of the ruck contest. They look to make another bright start in quarter number 3.
I wouldn't put your house on it if you're a betting man, Drew. He's kicked 31, 43 for the year. So I hope we don't put the moz on him. They crucially need this goal, but he's not a reliable set shot going by those stats. Let's see if he can put it through the big sticks.
Jordan Lane, his side need this one to start the second half in the right manner. He sends it on its way. Looks pretty good. And he cuts the margin to 21 points. That's just the start Alan Christensen would have been after. Now it's a matter of going on with it.
Well, I look like a complete idiot.
Oh, numbers are the numbers, Bo, and you presented them as they were. He's been inaccurate this season. He shouldn't be, really. He's got a lovely kicking technique.
Yeah, that's exactly right. He's one of the premier forwards of this competition. He missed the opening rounds, but he's made me look like a fool there, which is great because they really, really needed that goal. Did the Bombers. So Phillips and Mapley in the ruck now. Back to 21 points here at Blundstone Arena. 1 minute gone. Andrew Cooling bow down him in the commentary box this afternoon, and another wayward bounce. I'm sure you're starting to get a little bit frustrated watching at home. The bounces haven't been too great today. Probably 1 out of 10 or 11 bounces have actually been on target, as we see Sutton just overrunning, hands low, spreads to 50, over the top. Here is Holmes at the back, slapping on the right boot. Holmes rectifies the goal that Lauderdale just kicked. Holmes, he gets his second in the afternoon. And that goal that Jordan Lane just kicked does not matter that much now that Holmes has just went back and slapped it on the right boot. Snapping kick around the corner. Works out very well for the big man in the number 40 jumper, Droy.
And he's second of the afternoon from a similar spot. A similar play, really. Just take front position, box your defender out, use that frame to protect the area in front, turns around on the right. Banks his second of the contest. So Clarence answer back in a hurry. And it's 27 points once again. So it turns to the middle. Fast start to quarter number 3.
Oh, wow. Again. I think you just throw it up at this point.
Yeah, I think the surface perhaps not conducive to the straight bounce this afternoon. Let's just toss it up at this point.
He's been persistent, though.
Phillips wins this one down. Franklin maybe being held on to. He is. It'll be a free kick going his way. Advantage paid. Taken by Phillips. Sends it in the Jordan Lane direction. Wrestling match. Spills out the back. McGuinness has gone to the goal square. Can he get boot to ball? He can, but he can't direct it. He thought he was dragged down without the football. Umpire says just the behind.
So, the momentum just starting to come back to Lauderdale. Just a touch, Drewy.
Yeah, they've started all right in this quarter, but one goal apiece. That Holmes instant response certainly hurts them. They need to string several together. It's just not been something they've been able to do this afternoon. Beerley off half back. Looking for Hanslow, a bit too much on it for him. Preshaw scrapping away there at ground level. And the umpire will call for it.
So, deepest forward is the big man in Holmes. Gridley wearing Josh Green like a glove. So the rain just starts to fall down now at Blundstone Arena. The sun slowly starts to drift off. As we see Hanslow again. Just a check side kick. Too hot to handle there for Sutton. Strong tackles being laid on this outer wing, and now they're going to go forward. Green in a one-on-one on Gridley. Green with the back position, just fumbling at the crucial moment. Josh Green as the wind starts to pick up here. Hooker just slapping on the right boot, only as far as Preshaw. He's got 2 to beat. Hooker, he slams him into the deck, and it's going to be a really nice tackle from Hooker just to set the zone. Brilliantly done. He runs back to full forward. Nicely done from Hooker. So another throw up. Phillips. Preshaw just stripped. Hooker. Hanslow try to break the tackle. Tackle was laid brilliantly. So it's going to be going the way of Hanslow as the rain starts to pour. He's going to send them inside forward 50 again, looking for the second goal of the term here for Clarence. Starting to get very, very cold here in the commentary box. Green, too hot to handle. Mapley broke the tackle. Green's down behind play. Mapley lays a strong tackle, and we'll see a ball up.
And the rain pelts down. It's going to be tough for the Bombers to slam on goals. The weather continues to worsen like this. Clarence looking ominous at the moment. Phillips out of the congestion. Sweeps a handball to the outside of the contest. Oh, Ryan was clean. Came away with the football. Squares it up. Dangerous looking ball. Plenty of bodies. Holmes and Green lurking. Green emerged with it. Couldn't direct his effort and kicks it out of bounds on the full. So the Bombers will take over in the back pocket as the rain drives here. Shaw.
So Christensen has moved Josh McGuinness down into the forward line now, Drew.
Yeah, he saw him kick back behind moments ago and tries to search for some answers inside. Forward 50 changing the look up a little here. Here's Suki in defence.
Yeah, we saw Lightning 2 weeks ago in the STJ 4 Grand Final. I don't want to jinx it, but it's not looking very, very good out there.
Yeah, it's certainly not, as Poland looks to dash away but slipped over. Put himself under some pressure in the end. Blackburn fighting for it, but he's brought down there by Fisher. And forces a stoppage at half forward. It is getting very nasty here all of a sudden. Howling wind, driving rain. Very difficult conditions for the players suddenly, and that will suit the side with the big lead. Just getting a handball away in time was Franklin. Got it to Walsh. He tumbled it on the boot up into the middle of the ground. Hooker is immediately besieged. Brought down there in a good tackle from Beerley. I'll lock it up in the middle of the ground.
So 7 minutes gone here. Prelim final action from Blundstone Arena. Rain pouring, wind is gustly. Walsh and Ryan, they're 2 23s. Walsh stands up on his feet. Kick to half forward. Hule got the Bombers. Hooker was there. Harper's crunched. And it's going to be a free kick. Going to Harper. Howard coming in to remonstrate. So he's starting to get very cold and not great. So it's a 50-metre penalty going the way of Blake Harper. Fight's still going on at half forward. Kick inside forward 50. Green's lurking at the back. Martin does well to fist it over the line for a behind. 9-7-61 to 5-4-34 here.
It is still going on beyond play.
The umpire is trying to take control of it. Well, Harper there couldn't quite take the mark on that occasion. They're not very good conditions at Blundstone Arena, but it is prelim final action. So
Wayne and Cleary have been squaring up for the last 2 minutes behind the ball. The emergency umpires finally come out to the ground and broken it up. They were going at each other that entire time, those two. The ball might come in their direction now as Phillips wins it, lofts it down. It will go. So those two can engage once more. Neither could have an impact on that contest. Spilt out the back. Tilly's got good leg speed and he just toes it in the Blackburn direction, bends down, and he's brought down by Fisher. Boscott scrapping in there too. And then he sends Wiley to the deck and caught him high. That'll be a free kick to Clarence as tempers start to boil over here.
That's just stupid. You get a ball up inside forward 50. Boscott will discipline. It is just stupid, really. You're trying to get a ball up inside 50 to create a goal. You get margin down in wet weather. You need to take anything you can get.
Especially with how windy it's got in the last 5 minutes. Moving the football is not going to be easy here as another Clarence player is put down. Wiley again has been dumped by Boscott, I'm assuming, who's just leaving the scene of the crime. He wanders off. Another free kick. Clarence will go inside forward 50 this time. Jared Harper can take it. It's all rather unravelling here for the Bombers at the moment. Short ball finds Norton. Norton. Crowded forward 50 ahead of him. There's a lovely left boot though. He just stabs it inside 50 almost. Taken away there from Cooney. Norton goes back in, has an option here, sets it in there. Phillips defends by a foot, but he just towed it straight to Dolliver. Green trying to crash through Walsh. Walsh scoops the handball, and now they'll look to rebound through Patton, who sends a high ball into the middle of the ground. Who can track the football? McGuinness just lost sight of it, and it fell the way of Gapin. He spreads it wide, and Cooney takes it on the wing. He'll just settle things down here for the Roos. They lead this one by 27 points. A spot in the grand final well within their keeping. That kick invited in Sutton. Set a task for Bealey. Bealey's up to it though. Went back, won the football. His kick not so good. Just turns it straight over. And marked by Bell Chambers in defence.
So Bell Chambers' kick is really good to McManus. Has a paddock of space to work into. Blackburn's the intended target. Got two to beat. This came from behind from Fisher. Hooker. Hatton will be taken. And we'll see a ball up inside forward 50 now for the Bombers. Net changes being made. 11 minutes gone. 9-7-61 to 5-4-34. Phillips wins the tap down. Spun around in the tackle there was Baxter Norton. We'll see another ball up. So, McGuinness, the deepest target for Lauderdale. Blackburn next to him as well. Phillips winning it down. Walsh. Paprotny. Just got stripped of it by Franklin. Bursting through was Walsh. Franklin sends in inside forward 50. Blackburn. Ball just out the back. McGuinness just goes to ground. And we'll see a throw in.
So 27 points the lead. 12 minutes gone in the third term. Dark skies overhead now at Blundstone. I'm surprised the lights haven't come on, to be honest, as this one's thrown back into play. Hooker doing the ruck work, just goes off the deck in the direction of McGuinness, who flicks it up and volleys it just wide. It would have been goal of the year. It was genius from McGuinness, but it just went the wrong side of the post. Oh, Zlatan, eat your heart out. He's flicked it up for himself and volleyed it. It would have been a remarkable goal. Not today. That would have been a real team lifter. Instead, Preshaw will take it out of defence. Goes looking for Green. Hammered away from him, but only so far as Ryan, who gives it back to Green. Green squaring ball, nobody home. Patton, ball through the legs of Poland. Now an opportunity for Norton to straighten up and drive it wide of the mark. Lead back to 27 points once more.
So not much really happening. It's going end-to-end football at the moment. We're going to go straight up the middle of Blundstone Arena. Phillips was crashing the pack. Nice, strong mark taken there. I think it might be Preshaw. It is Ollie Preshaw. Looks like he's squaring up for a goal. It won't be. He'll just stab at it. Green's leading out. Fist going from Poland. Trying to mop up there is Martin. Green pounced on him. We'll see. Another ball up. Very, very cold conditions here. Wet, windy and cold. It's the order of the day. Holmes in the ruck now against Phillips. An intriguing ruck battle this afternoon. Phillips wins the tap down. McManus held back. Green just intercepting there. McManus. Harper was wearing him. Walsh got tackled to the ground. And again, we'll see a ball up, and tempers just start to flare again here at Blundstone Arena. Umpire quickly intervenes, and the lights are still not on. It's an interesting sight, and they're playing with a red ball as well, so a bit interesting. So Holmes with the ruck tap. Hooker just got pushed in the back by Preshaw. Spotted that one straight away, Drew. It'll be a free kick.
Yeah, right under the umpires knows that one. We had a wonderful view from up in the stand of that. So the Bombers need to get something going here. They're 27 points down. It's going to be tough to kick 27 points total from here on out. So tough are the conditions getting. But they need to start making some inroads here. They can't leave themselves such a sizable deficit to head into the last quarter with. By any chance, they've got to find something here in the back half of quarter number 3 just to give themselves some belief. At the moment, Clarence quite happy with the way this game's panning out. Not many scoring chances. That suits them just fine. They might conjure one themselves here, though, as it's worked towards the half-forward line. Harper couldn't quite control it. Just slipping out of his hands and across the line. It's at the right end of the ground as far as the home faithful are concerned.
So what do they really change that quarter, Drew? It doesn't look like a whole lot. McGuinness to the forward line, yeah, that's great, but where's your ball movement coming from to get it down to the forward line is where I think they needed the change at half-time.
I think Bell Chambers is the one they've put there as Franklin looks to burst away from the pack. Sets it up in the McManus direction. Brings it in on the chest. Played on into Norton. Then heads wide. Well done by Cleary getting up to see it away from Hooker.
He's had a good year, Cleary. Played in the state game earlier this year, averaging an intercept mark a game, at least one spoil. Not a big disposal getter, but you don't need to be when you're a key back. He's probably the best backman in the competition, I'd say. I'm able to hang my hat on that.
He's been an absolute glove this afternoon, that's for sure. Hasn't lost many one-on-ones as Phillips takes this out of the ruck, gave it to Hooker, who sets it on his boot and sets it up in front of Boscott. Takes a high bounce, Cleary for company. Bounces back inside, Boscott and Gape and slapped it out, but he slapped it straight to Tilly, who snaps on the left and snaps wide of the mark. It's the type of opportunity they dearly needed to seize, not to be. The margin 26.
So Cleary just looking for a few options. Weighted kick to Howard. It was a nice set of eyes. In fact, it was Wiley kicking that one. My apologies. Howard now. He knows he's got Phillips down the line, and that's where it goes. The big man will take a clunk. And hands it off to Poland. High, long kick inside, forward 50. Boscott nearly taking the mark. Pushing the back, free kick to Boscott. So they crucially need this. Lauderdale hasn't kicked a goal all day, Boscott. 13-13 all year. So another one of the a little bit inaccurate, about a 50-50 chance. I'd say, Drewy, here is Boscott. Hasn't been a great goal kicker all year, but this is where they need him to stand up. So 5 score involvements a game he averages. Let's see if he can lethargically get this one into the goals. Boscott, he will let him know straight off the boots. It is back to 20 points. And the door just opening the slightest for Lauderdale as Boscott gets his first of the afternoon. Just brings them back within 20, Drew.
Yeah, an important goal. If I can get another one before three-quarter time, that would give them plenty of hope, but a little lazy perhaps from Borsboom there. I'm not sure he needed to reach out the arm and push like that. But in the end, taking the free kick and taking full advantage was Thor Boscott, his side. Needed that goal badly. They've done quite a bit of defending this quarter, so it's important that they did take a chance when they worked one back the other way. They do that. Can they get on a roll now? Clarence have had all the answers this afternoon. The Bombers build off the back of that, get something going. Beautiful ruck work from Phillips to Sutton, who just kicks it out into space. Borsboom first to it, though. Takes on the tackle of Franklin. Handball back into dispute. There was Sutton. Borsboom on the bottom of the pack. It'll be tossed up. 20th minute of the third term.
You've really got to want to draw. Someone for Lauderdale needs to take this game on and just start placing their name on it, because no one has so far.
The rain has abated again for the time being. It's just kind of been 10-minute bursts of really heavy rain, but that's died down, which will help them in their need for multiple goals. Franklin tried to take on Hanslow, who caught him solidly. Slipped up over the shoulder in the process, though. Free kick will go the way of the Bombers. They can send it forward once more.
They're just in two minds there. The umpire, he initially called play on and then went the high free kick.
Sets it up. Driving kick into space. Was dropped into the breadbasket of Lane. Couldn't shrug free. Handball across there to Walsh, to Phillips. Can he maintain his balance? Phillips! He can! 2 in a row for the Bombers. They're back within 14 points. Their star ruck drives it through, and they're back in this ball game.
That was a terrible kick. That was a real mongrel. But again, Phillips, they need to take those chances, and that's exactly what he did. It's now back to 14 points, and he's been a pretty good goal kicker for them this year, Phillips. 10-9, so again, they've had a 50-50, but it was a real... I'm not sure how to really describe it, Drew. I don't think he thought it was going to go in. I thought he might have sprayed it, but he did well just to compose. As he was kicking, he got pushed, and it was on target. That's desperately what they needed. The Bombers, Phillips with a really big goal now. So Walsh signalling to the bench. Mapley just getting started now. Sutton kicking it inside forward 50. Lane, Blackburn was pushed out. Ball just outside the 50 now. Pre-Shaw was set upon, pushing it back. The umpire is really, he's controlling this game. Well, they are controlling this game, I should say. For Protney to Borsboom. So now Lauderdale just starting to lift a little bit. Watch it out, because Perkins has just come off the bench. Pre-short. He had that mark. Now just to half forward, where it's a mark taken by Dolliver. Looking to go quickly. Keegan Ryan's a spare. Jack Dolliver now with ball in hand. To send them forward once more. Long kick inside 50. Phillips with a punch. Free kick to Green. So, holding free kick to Josh Green. And hasn't he been good today? He's already got 2 goals to his name.
This will be a killer for the Bombers. They just got a couple of goals, got some momentum back. You could sense they were starting to lift. The Roos go forward and get a set shot 20 out. This would be a real blow.
Yeah, it certainly would. He's kicked 46 goals, including the 2 he's kicked today. Josh Green to edge it back to 20 points. And he's missed, and the goal umpire's gone down while he's at it. So, not great It might be my man Mark Holmes down there who slipped over on the goal line. Brilliant umpire is Mark. He would not be liking that vision.
Oh dear, that's a poor kick straight down the throat of Jared Harper. And there are white jumpers everywhere inside forward 50. In the end, he goes to the goal square, and big Holmes. No one can take the mark. Green gets boot to ball with no purchase on it. Straight to Martin, who just blasted on out of there. He goes for distance. Blackburn working up to get to the football. Gave it back to Tilly. Tilly now sets it up towards Boscott. He's got Beerley for company. It slips out the back inside the forward 50. Perkins lurking. Can he gather it? Preshaw in there for the Roos. Boscott crashing through there was Cleary. Umpire calls for it. This game has gone up a few gears in the last 10 minutes. The Bombers have got a sniff all of a sudden. If they could get another one, they'd have some belief. Lane wins it down. Perkins roves it. He snaps it. It won't have the journey. Top of the square, fisted away. Trying to volley it was Hooker. Didn't get boot to ball. Blackburn says he dived on it. Umpire says, I'll have it. They're pushing here, the Bombers. 15 points the difference. Here they come. Clarence had the game on their terms for much of the afternoon. Jordan Lane out of the ruck contest, emerging with a Boscott, shrugging one way then the other. The kick was poor though. And Hooker gets hands to it and dribbles through for a minor score. 14-point ball game.
It is a 14-point ball game. It's prelim final action at its best. It's hot, it's contested, and for the most part free-flowing. So Wiley sends it just in front of Suki. Did well to stand under it. Now McManus, stabbing kick to Walsh. Does well. Bryce Walsh has had a bit of the ball this afternoon. He's been handy for them. He hasn't kicked a goal yet today. He's kicked 5-5 for the year. Not too many opportunities in front of goal for him. He's the star of this competition, and they really do need this. He's averaging 24 a game. So Walsh, just a high up and under kick to the goal line. Lane stood under it, and Wiley pushed him out of it. So didn't even score. At the least, they needed to punch it over the line just to bring it back to 13. It still remains at 14. Wiley with a long kick out of defence. Phillips, strong mark. The big ruckman wheeling and going. Long kick inside forward 50. Lane just couldn't quite mark it. Wiley leading the pack for the ball. Running out of tarmac though. Deep inside forward 50 for the Roos.
We've travelled 25 plus change here in the third term. It's been pretty lengthy quarters. Should be time enough for the Bombers. This forward stoppage. At any rate, Mapley reaches over the top, one down. Perkins almost in the back. Did well not to give away. Walsh with a good tackle. Ball spills free. He goes back in for it. In the end, he gets one over the shoulder. Oh, a set shot coming up for Walsh. And an opportunity for the Bombers to make this a single-digit scoreline for the first time in a long while.
Well, he butchered that first kick on goal literally a minute ago. I think he just leant back on it. Let's have a look and see if he's changed anything.
Bryce Walsh, his side need a goal. He's put it across the face. And it's spoiled out of play. Out for a behind rather. 7-8-50, 13 points to the margin.
Just leaned back again.
Not quite his forte, is it? The inside mid, Bryce Walsh, so good at ball winning. Perhaps not the most natural of goal kickers, but his side could really have done with one of those two.
So Wiley now, one bounce out of defence. Runs away from Ratcliffe. Nicely done though from Martin. Left foot stabbing kick hits up Perkins. Centering it inside forward 50. Off the hands of Fisher. Land in the lapper lane. Blackburn. Snap one goal. Blackburn has another. Gives it to the crowd that's not even in the stands. And Blackburn, well, a crucial goal at a crucial time. Sticks Blackburn as 2.
Yeah, 3 in a row for the Bombers. It's come off the back of some great work from the likes of Phillips and Martin setting up behind the ball. Clarence have had real trouble exiting D50 in the last 15 minutes. That's 3 times they've had intercept marks around about 50 to kind of 70 metres out from goal. They've just been able to get the ball beyond there because it's been Phillips, it's been Martin, it's been the key players for the Bombers standing up, taking the intercepts and putting that Rouge defence right back under pressure. It leads to another goal here.
He's actually just he celebrated to the 7 people that are in that stand, Drewy, so he tells a lot about Stixie.
He loves a goal, Stixie, and he's kicked a massive one there. Back within 7 points. Can the Rouge respond here? Around the corner from Mapley. Martin, he just got it away in time. Under pressure from Glover. Out towards Patton. He leads Ryan to the football. Looks to take him on the boot. Sets it high up towards Lane. Doing well was Cleary to work his way to the front. Got it to Preshaw. Took on Perkins through the middle who nailed him. No prior opportunity, says the umpire. The crowd. Well, the Bombers faithful in good voice here this afternoon. I thought there was a holding the ball decision due. Umpire didn't agree. Phillips paddles it down. He locked in there again. Yeah, with all the Clarence fans in their bar behind the glass, the noise outside here has very much been pro-Bombers at this home final for the Rouge. Phillips again took it out of the ruck, and there's the 3/4 time siren, and we have got ourselves a game, ladies and gentlemen. Just 7 points the margin as we turn for the final quarter. Clarence were cruising away with this one. They were coasting to the grand final, but the Bombers hit the switch late in that quarter, kicked the last 3, and it's game on at Blundstone Arena. 63 plays 56 at 3/4 time.
Yeah, I think they were probably on the bus already, Clarence. They nearly had their tickets. They had everything there. They had their bags packed to go up north, but Alan Christensen and his men have other problems. Or I should say other ideas, Drewy. Getting swept up in the atmosphere. The crowd is so good here at Blundstone Arena. It is shaping up to be an absolute cracking prelim final. It's a pleasure to have your company wherever you're watching from. Very big last quarter action up next, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll take a quick breather and be back with it. The final quarter of this massive preliminary final. The last quarter we'll see from one of these two teams in the TSL. The winner will head up north to take on the Northern Bombers next week. For the losers, that's the end of their TSL journey. We'll be back shortly with the final term. 7 points, the Rouge advantage as we turn for the final change.
So the huddles have broken up for the final quarter here at Blundstone Arena, the final quarter of TSL football in the southern half of the state before next week's grand final and then the move back to regional leagues next season. This is it. There are 5 quarters of TSL football left. Maybe, bow down, maybe a period of extra time. Who knows how today will go, but it is tight. It is just 7 points between them as we head towards the final quarter. For Lauderdale, they're just going to keep doing what they did in the back half of that third quarter, don't they? Because they flicked the switch, and from out of this game, they are right back in it.
Again, Drewy, it is that ball movement off half back. We'll hone on about it all day until these guys win, because their ball movement off half back is so dangerous. I'm liking your thinking. I think I'd love to see a little bit of extra time in the last game of the TSL down here in the south. It'd be a really fitting end, I think, for a lot of these fans that love the TSL down here and aren't going to travel up the highway. But this is such a big quarter for either team. I mean, obviously it's a spot in the grand final. Who wouldn't want that? Bombers looking to go into their first grand final since 2019. Whereas Clarence, they're looking to break a 13-year drought. Shaping up to be a big last quarter, Andrew Cooling.
It has been a while, but one of these teams will progress in half an hour's time. It's the Bombers who get first use as Phillips sends them forward, but it's a good relieving mark taken back in defence. Howard dropping back in. We'll slow things down. Sends it wide. Looking for Norton. Spills out the back. First to it's Sutton, but he's quite happy just to step across.
How good is football, Drewy? Big crowd here at Blundstone Arena. It's been a hot contested game for the most part.
This is what it's all about. Big finals footy in the balance in the final quarter. 7 points is Clarence's advantage. They did lead by 27 midway through that third term. Holmes just swipes at that one. Swipes it to the line, and Martin steps across. He's been important in defence today, the big bomber. We'll need another big final term from him. The sun now shining. We've had all 4 seasons here this afternoon at Blundstone in 10-minute periods, but now the weather is glorious. It was awful in that third term. Here's Norton trying to skip through, but he's brought down in a wonderful hooker tackle. Goes unrewarded. Ryan locks it in. Will be tossed up.
You never really want to bag the umpires. I'm not sure. Maybe missed a few today, but for the most part they have been on their A game as Hooker just sends a long high ball to this wing. McManus claiming the mark. Umpire obliged. Sending them forward now, Robbie McManus. Bosco to the back. Blackburn nearly. Fist from behind from Fisher. Now Rackett trying to send them forward. Slung around to the tackle. McManus again bursting through there. 1 or 2 good efforts from the big fella. There is Tom Ratcliffe. Hits it out to his skipper in Franklin. Back to Ratcliffe. 3 touches in 3 seconds. Big kick out wide now from Flynn Rackett. Again now. Not much going the way of the Bombers. Cooney kicks it inside forward 50. 1-on-1. Mapley brought ball to ground. Green. Soccering ball there from Glover. It's rolling! Nearly got there. So it is out to 8 points now. Which team is going to stand up on the big time? And who will crumble? It was Clarence. No, we got Phillips in a free paddock of space. Clarence last year, I believe, going down to Launceston last year in the prelim. Boscott here, tracking the ball, pushed his man off it. Running out of tarmac though. Crowd just building into this one. 8-point lead, Cripps TSL prelim. Live from Blundstone Arena. Big last quarter.
We will get the all-important first strike in this final term. Phillips' influence has already been profound in this quarter. He's just worked underneath it by Holmes there. Back into the corridor looking for Sutton, who's driven into the deck in a firm hands-low tackle. Got busy as the afternoon has gone on. The tireless Reece Sutton
Spending a bit of time on the ball, perhaps more so than outside at times, as they've shuffled the deck. Phillips paddles at the hooker. Hooker stumbled as he kicked and ends up tumbling it inside towards Jordan Lane. Took it in stride, dished it off beautifully to Perkins. Gets his kick away! But Preshaw did just enough from behind to put him off. And a minor score only. Despairing effort there from Ollie Preshaw.
So cliche, Joey, but those 1%ers like that Preshaw leap to tackle is so crucial to keep winning the ball back and putting the opposition off their game.
Riley drives it around the outer wing. Floated over all comers. Opportunity. Norton drops in short. Cooney. Bombers well set up behind the ball. The Roos showing some patience. I know they can. They've got the 7-point lead, so they're not chasing this one. And they're just going to try and slow play it and a little feel for the ball, as this one's an ugly kick, skewed straight into Martin. Didn't catch that at all right. So the Bombers look to get it forward quickly. Pretty open forward line. Blackburn presenting. That's where he heads, and he reels it in nicely. Stixie Blackburn. Boskett wants it out the back. Presenting short now. That's where he goes. Just a bit too much on it. Lane has to spoil from behind. He goes in at ground level. Scoops it out there. Wide for McManus. They just run out of real estate. And he tossed back into play.
Yeah, Sticks Blackburn has been crucial in this game. He's got the 2 goals next to his name, but bigger than that, he's just been a target for them up forward and providing a real spark in that forward line. Stixie Blackburn. So, throw in now. Phillips winning it. Shrugs one tackle. Scoops the hand pass. Walsh dances around one. Slapping it. Sells the candy. Takes him to the shot price. Walsh! He's got it! Walsh sends it back within 1 point. Brilliantly done. 6 goals for the year. When you need someone to stand up, call Bryce Walsh, and he gives it to the crowd.
He is pumped, and the Bombers are back within a point. Goal of the day from Walsh. He was selling it every direction and then finished it tidily. He missed those set shots in quarter number 3. Just needed to be on the run, selling candy one way then the other apparently to get the shot on target. That was absolutely brilliant. He's lifted the crowd. And it is a 1-point ball game.
Jeepers creepers, Joey. What a goal.
That is the definition of a team lifter. Game on in the preliminary final. Who will meet the Northern Bombers next week? Preshaw under pressure from Franklin. Spilled out to a hooker. Just slaps it on the boot. In the Blackburn direction. He gets to it first. Under pressure from Fisher. Now Ratcliffe trying to shrug free. Fisher brought him in, but he got the handball out to Blackburn. McManus goes off the deck. Play on, says the umpire, not 15. And McGuinness forces a stoppage in the square. They're expecting the mark to be paid. Umpire said didn't travel the requisite distance. It'll be thrown up instead. Phillips has really been influential in this last quarter. Back into a dangerous area. Patton applying some pressure here. It's a good tackle. Just slips out the last second. Gapin now brought down by Ratcliffe. They'll go again. They're feeling it now, the Bombers.
Get out from behind the glass, Clarence supporters.
Slap back right into the middle of the 50-yard. Franklin gave it off to McManus. Snaps it round the corner. Won't have the journey. Wiley. First to it. Takes the relieving mark.
So Tom Cleary, that fullback, chips it over the top to Hanslow. Phillips happy to take the 5 metres out. They've pressed up the ground here, Lauderdale. Lead coming from Dolliver. Won't go in that direction. Tied along the boundary. Laid from the side, nearly. And it's a push to Jordan Lane. Clarence bemused.
He just played in the mark, I think.
Yeah, the Clarence players and officials are not very happy. Fly from the side. McManus crumbing. Perkins is there. In and under was Cleary. Shovel the hand pass out. Perkins! Snap one goal. Right to the top of the square. McGuinness in a 1-on-1 there with Bealey. McGuinness happy to see it over the boundary line. Another throw in, 8.5 gone, 9-10, 64 to 9-9, 63. About 20 minutes, give or take, left of one of these teams' season. Who will it be? 1 point the margin. Clarence have been in the box seat all day. Phillips winning the tap down. Holmes kicked it out of midair. Ballsboom tracking this one. Ending up in Bell Chambers. Kick leading out. Just got intercepted though. Green in a one-on-one there with Gridley. Green winning it. Spinning around. Sending them forward. Holmes in a paddock of space. Hooker mans the mark. Ryan was lurking. Holmes sending them forward. Glover. Defensively sound there with Shaw. And Shaw happy to see this one over the boundary line.
Yeah, important win there. A couple of big wins beforehand, though, for the Roos. Ryan, superb at half back, and then Green at the other end at half forward. Both times the team were outnumbered. Both just came up big, kept the ball in Clarence possession, kept it moving, got it forward. They've got this forward 50 stoppage as a result. Mapley against Lane. Green flicked it up. Our handball was shut down. Ballsboom. Tilly coming over the top. In the end, out of play, and it'll be tossed in once more. The pressure amplifying here in the final quarter of the preliminary final. And 8 with the Northern Bombers awaits the victors. Clarence been in control for much of the afternoon, but it's the Bombers who are pushing hard here in the final term. Holmes takes it out of the ruck. He sets it high to the goal line. Martin happy to fumble it across the line. And with that, it's a 2-point ball game. 9-11 to 9-9. Poland. Anything he'd like immediately, so just drifts out into the pocket, then sends a high ball up in the Phillips direction. Cleary came from behind. Holmes claims the mark and he's paid it.
That's ridiculous.
I think there might have been a couple of sets of hands on that one, but Holmes will be paid the pluck, and he can send the Roos inside the forward 50 here. He goes looking for Green. Oh, brilliantly defended though by Gridley, but Green gets another chance, fires it back to Preshaw. Tilly slings him round, got the handball away to Green. Franklin broke it up. Bill Chambers tries to get around a couple, and Holmes gets him. James Holmes, he's been outstanding, and he gets Bill Chambers, and he'll go back and kick for goal.
It's kick 2, Drewy. This would be a real big goal. Captain's goal, if ever there was one.
Yeah, it takes something special from here. Late in the afternoon, he'll be kicking from about the paint of 50 on the angle. Does he take it on, or does he just look to set it up to the hot spot? Let's see what he's got, James Holmes. He heads on in, wheels out to the right, tight to the boundary line, too tight. It doesn't register a score.
Yeah, it was always going to be a tough angle there, Drew. It was a tough ask. It was adventurous at best. And Lauderdale, again, a look to springboard from full-back to full forward. Can they do it? That's probably been what they've been doing all good. I've absolutely stuffed that up. That's what they've been doing brilliantly all afternoon. Wiley came from the side, holding free kick, going the way of Lauderdale. Big Andy Phillips, their number 34. The big off-season recruit. They need him to stand up now. Bites off the kick in the middle. Just dropping it there was Ned Shaw. Free kick Lauderdale. Ned Shaw. Again, he's going to have crack it if he wants to. Doesn't go to him. Hits up Martin. Blackburn leading up the ground. That's in the direction he goes and absolutely sprays it out of the full. You can't give that up. If you're Martin. Now Clarence, they're going to look to go forward. Keegan Wiley calling for some options. He's got Mapley in the middle of the ground. Chips short to Mapley. No, he's just dropped it. Franklin displaying some pressure. Preshaw. Boscott crunches him. Ball up. 13 minutes gone. 9-11, 65 to 9-9, 63. Alarm bells are ringing for Clarence. Phillips with the tap down. In and under there was Franklin winning the ball. He's a bull. Hooker just kicks it inside forward 50. Black Burn off the hands of him. Last line of defence, Beerley. Just shrugged the tackle. Got the hand pass. No, he didn't. Free kick, Lauderdale. Sam Tilley, I think it is. It is Sam Tilley. 7-7 for the year. Average of 17 disposals. He would have been well over that today, I would have thought. He's had a stack of it, Sam Tilley. So to put them in front by 4. Or I should say 2, sorry. Tilley to edge them back in front. Kick is on the way, just drifting across the face of goal. And Macca has got his hands in his head. He's not too impressed with that set shot.
1 point ball game. A miss there from Tilley. Will it be a costly one? A let off for the Roos, who've gone from complete control to just holding on here. Bombers have missed a couple in this final term. High ball outside defence. Numbers seemingly favouring the Bombers here. Spiked away by Poland. Tilley dives on top. Slides across the line.
It must be a really... I'm not sure how to... It must be a really odd feeling as a coach when there's not much you can do in Peter Ryan's sense. You have to shift the magnets around, yeah, but momentum is all with Lauderdale at the moment, Yuri.
We can dig deep. This man Phillips having a profound influence on this match. He has really got his side back into it. The catalyst for so much of this turnaround. And there really isn't much you can do against the likes of Phillips. Sutton, high ball. Might not have gone the 15. Mapley's got it, has to get rid of it. Flicked it over the top. Franklin battling away. Walsh crashes in.
Oh, no.
Stood up well in the tackle. Around the corner goes Sutton, looking for McManus. Judged it well. Slips out the back. Slides it to Hooker. And a beautiful service for Campbell. Hooker. He opened up there for McManus. And Hooker can go back and put his side in front.
Walsh coming up, Drewy, with that left shoulder. It was a really nasty bump. Big moment of the game.
He might have thrown the shoulder out, looking at him limping to the bench there. He looks in a lot of pain, but for now, what matters here is Campbell. Hooker's shot for goal. 35 out, directly in front. He leans back and he levels the scores, but it's not the result the Bombers were looking for.
Oh.
9-11 plays 9-11. We're all square. 16 and a quarter gone, final term.
Well, it is the inaccurate Bombers. It's been the story of them all year, Drewy. They've kicked 9-11 apiece. Hooker hasn't been too accurate in front of goal. Dancing around there, Wiley. Professionally done. Holmes. Big mark by Martin. Just slips over. Goal to play on. Kick for Jordan Lane. Brilliant lead there from Lane. He's kicked one. 31-43 for the year. This will test him. It looks like a pretty easy goal, but with the pressure and how he's been kicking this year, it's really a 50-50 for Jordan Lane to regain the lead for Lauderdale and to have one hand on a bus ticket to Launceston. Here is Jordan Lane, coming back this year from Port Melbourne, crossing the arc of 50. Kick is on its way, back in front, Lauderdale.
Well, they lead by those 6 points from Jordan Lane. He found his shooting boots there, and they are coming home with a wet sail. It's 71 plays 65. And suddenly it's Clarence who are looking around, pointing at each other, looking for answers. They seemingly had all the answers. They were in complete command of this game to the midway point of the third quarter. They led it by 27 points. But suddenly, they can't seem to move the football. Lauderdale forcing turnovers in dangerous parts of the field, piling the pressure on this Roos defence. And the scoring looks are coming as a result of it. Now it's the Roos who must respond. They trail by 6. Mapley wins it down. Franklin out after it. First to it. Applying pressure is pretty sure. And he locks it in.
And what do you do with the Clarence? What is going to change, Drewy, to win this game.
They need to start winning the ball at the coalface a bit more. Just get their hands on the football. At the moment, Phillips and the on-ball brigade. Franklin's been awesome in there. Sutton's had an influence. Really starting to get on top out of the middle. High ball up towards Hooker. Howard strides past him, had to fire a handball off. I think Perkins will happily just see that one over. He does.
McGuinness has spent a lot of time on the bench down there, Drew. He looks like he's waiting to come on, but I can only help but notice he hasn't spent a lot of time on ground this last quarter. One to watch out for.
He's been playing forward when he has been on there. It's been one of the moves that Christensen has made. Smashed forward by Phillips. A free kick had already been blown for a hold, though. It'll go the way of the Bombers as well. Suddenly, it's all coming up Bombers here at Blundstone Arena. Will there be a 50 for off the ball? No. Just the free kick. So they'll look to go forwards again. Suddenly, with a 6-point lead in tow. Phillips the target. Why not? Why wouldn't you keep kicking it to this man? He's been enormous. And suddenly looks like he's got a couple of options open inside the forward 50. The leads presenting themselves. He'll just kick to a sea of bodies. And it's marked by Hooker. Backing back and taking the mark. Campbell, Hooker, he can put his side 12 points clear.
Walsh looking like he's might be coming on, Drew, so that's a really good sign for Lauderdale.
Well, they'll definitely want him next week, which is now looking like a distinct possibility. If Campbell Hooker kicks this, there'll be 12 points clear with only red time to play. It's been a stunning turnaround here at Bellerive. Hooker sends it through and they lead by 12. It has been a Bombers onslaught since the midway point of quarter number 3. And from 27 points down, they now lead by 12. Over to you, Clarence. Have you got anything left?
Walsh back on the ground. Shut up shop if you're Lauderdale, I think. One goal will do it. I just don't know if you can really risk. I mean, we're not sure how much time left we've got here, Drew. But what a cracking game. It's 9-11-65 to 11-11-77. 12 points the margin in the final State League game here in the southern part of Tasmania. Over to you, Clarence, as Drewy said. Holmes with a tap down. Phillips patrolling. Meeting it there is Glover. Strong tackle laid by Shaw. Glover ball up. 21 minutes gone. A lot to play for, a lot at stake. Holmes just spikes it. Harper, Hooker, in there is Sutton. He and Franklin have been enormous. Breaking the tackle, hands low. Harper from outside 50. Harper from outside 50. Back to 6.
What a strike, what a response. Stands up when his team needed it. That's the first goal in some time. They led this one 62-35 at the 16.5-minute mark of the third quarter. That's their first goal since then. They kicked 3 behinds to Lauderdale's 6-6 in that kind of 20 to 30 minute period of play. Boy, did they need that. Something from nothing, but that's a massive goal from Harper.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? This game just keeps on giving. What a game we've had.
Back to the middle we go. 6-point ball game. Anyone's match this as we head towards the final minutes out in front of Tilly. The boundary line will win out. Quite happy to see the cross was barely. One straight kick the margin. It's been a classic here in the preliminary final. The last ever TSL preliminary final. It's going right down to the wire. The final TSL game here at Bellerive. Might well be one that lives long in the memory. How will it end? Phillips gets the better of Holmes on this occasion. Franklin somehow manufactures a kick under pressure. It was McManus rather, but it spilt the way of Norton, who gave it to Preshaw. Returned it to Norton. Fired the handball over the top. And now they're away through Borsboom. Received it from Glover. He sends this one wide for Cooney. Bell Chambers will apply the pressure. Cooney wanted to chink back inside of him, but just lost his footing. And across the line it goes. Oh, it is on here now. 23 and a half gone. Wouldn't have thought it'll be the longest of quarters, so there still should be a couple of minutes left.
Lane going back behind the ball, Drewy.
That's a big move. Perhaps a timely one for the Bombers as they go into protect mode. Phillips just slapped it forward to McManus.
I thought he was maybe just staying in the forward line for the time being, Drew.
They bring the heat around the ball and it'll be tossed up on the wing.
24 minutes gone nearly. On this outer wing. Phillips with the tap down. Walsh in and under. Holmes was mauled by Walsh. Ball just staying in the same spot. It eventually trickles out to a 1-on-1. Hooker pushes his man over. And it will be an all-in stacks on tackle. I think Matt Franklin, the skipper, has really stood up this afternoon. He's probably the best on for me, as well as Sutton. So here is Franklin on cue. Tilly sending them inside forward 50. Lane and Cleary to 1-on-1. Cleary winning the ruck battle. I should say the defensive battle. He's been big today, Cleary. Pushing him there is Bell Chambers. Cooney digs him into the turf. Umpire calls for the ball. So a goal, the difference. 10-11 to 11-11. Lauderdale have nearly been trailing all day. Not long left now. Phillips, there was no one in the ruck. Capon, Wiley, sending them forward once more. Poland and Harper. Poland winning. Nice pick up and go. Trickling ball out to James Holmes. He flicked it back to Paprotny. Now back to Bealey. Sending them inside forward 50. Just out the back there was Glover. And now Lauderdale have the numbers. Holmes, quick hand pass. Glover taken in a strong tackle. That will be a ball up Andrew Cooling.
Big contest here at half forward. The Roos in arrears by 6, pushing again. Phillips goes unopposed. Interesting tactics here from the Roos. Just giving up the ruck battle to have an extra midfielder. They're going to win the ball here through Norton, but he was stripped of it, and Tilly blasts it back the other way. It's a foot race now. It trickles in there. The Roos leading back. Cleary got tripped up without it. They take a man on, and Fisher is composed, weaving through traffic. Just gets rid of it in time. Cleary now. The elevator door slamming shut. And they force a stoppage. The pressure was good.
Yeah, should have been holding the ball, Drew. That really should have been.
Umpire putting the whistle away in these final moments. 6 points the lead. They could finish it just about here. Cleary's kicked in, clear the area, but it went to Hooker, gave it to his brother, slaps it on the boot. Blackburn there, Lane's there. No one can take it cleanly. Ratcliffe got a kick away. That was shut down. There's going to be a free kick to the Roos, tackled without it, but the advantage was taken and not used. They've cuffed it straight up to Phillips, but it will surely go back and eat his 30 seconds.
Wow, this game is giving everything. McGinn is still looking on from the bench. He hasn't come on. This takes some sort of kick, Drew. He's been 10-9, kicked 1 goal this year. The big star recruit. Let's see why they recruit Andy Phillips. This for the dagger.
Distance shouldn't be a problem, and a behind would be worth a lot here with a 6-point lead. It would be a very handy point as he wheels out to the right. He gives it a ride. It's going to sneak in for a minor score, and that could be crucial. The Bombers faithful love it. They lead by 7.
So Wiley, we're all roll the dice stuff now. Glover with a diving mark. Runners on. Howard was there for support if he needed it. Now Preshaw. Nice mark in front of Hooker. Wheeling and going inside forward 50. Josh Green in a 1-on-1 against Gridley. Martin nearly taken. Green coming to the top of the square. It's a goal. So 1 point. The margin. Josh Green got his 3rd of the afternoon. We are back now to 1 point in the prelim. 11-11, 77 to 11, 12, 78, 28 minutes gone.
Greedley backing back with the flight. He did everything right until the completion of the mark, and it slipped out of the hands. And that is not a man you want the ball slipping into the hands of. Josh Green absolutely makes him pay. It's a 1 point ball game. We've travelled 28 and a half. We don't know how long is left. I wouldn't have thought it would be the longest quarter. There haven't been major stoppages or too many goals. There could only be seconds left. It's a 1 point ball game. Back to the middle. There was only a second left. The Bombers are through. Green's goal in vain. There was literally a second left. It's the Bombers to the big dance. They've come from the clouds. They trailed by 27 points at the 16.5-minute mark of the third quarter. And they rallied back to score a remarkable 1 point win and make it an all Bombers affair in the grand final next week. And Clarence's quest for a TSL crown comes to an end by the narrowest of margins. It'll be Lauderdale heading up to take on North Launceston next week. They win a thriller of a preliminary final, 11-12 to 11-11. Row down them. It does not get any tighter than that.
I'm lost for word, Drew. I'm gobsmacked. Not very often we as commentators get short of words. You've described that moment beautifully. What on earth we just witnessed here at Blundstone Arena? Clarence were in the box seat all day. They were second prelim in a row. Christensen down there running onto the players now. He was a laid out, so Bundy will go for premiership success as a coach. Fitting that they'll be in the Cats uniform, I reckon, next week. I would have thought. I'm not quite sure yet, but wait and see. It'll be a big build up to the league. What a game of football. That is remarkable stuff, and I cannot believe what we've just witnessed, Joey.
Yeah, great preliminary final. Last ever preliminary final in this competition, and it will be one to remember. Clarence, well, they're going to rue missed opportunities there. They had this game well within their keeping. They were seemingly en route to a rematch with their conquerors from last week in North Launceston. It won't be. It'll be Bombers v Bombers instead, because they just lifted. They found a couple of goals. The backs were against the walls. If Clarence had to kick one more in that third quarter, put it beyond 5 goals, that might have been enough to really put them away. They just hung in there. They waited. Then the game got back on their terms, and they took some chances, and suddenly the belief built, the momentum built, and in that final quarter, you just felt like they were the more likely team. They were coming hard at them. Clarence pulled one back late, but not enough. And that Andy Phillips behind that he kicked from 50 did prove to be very important indeed. That's the margin of victory in the end. It's Lauderdale marching on to the grand final by a solitary point over Clarence in this last ever TSL preliminary final. What a game, what a pleasure it was to bring this one to you. Hope you enjoyed the coverage. Just one more to go, and looking forward to bringing that one your way next Saturday afternoon. The Bombers v Bombers it will be. The Bomber Derby.
How are the scenes here, Drew?
And it is great scenes. The Lauderdale fans mobbing the players on the pitch now. They were in fine voice all afternoon, and they'll enjoy this one tonight, and I'm sure many will make their way up the highway next weekend for what should be a cracking decider. Lauderdale, the big pre-season hype team, they've had some obstacles along their way, not least of all Sam Siggins being ruled out for the season, but they've found their way through. And for mine, it was a large part of that thanks to one of those big off-season recruits in Andrew Phillips. Yeah. I thought when the game was there to be won, he was magnificent today, bro. Yeah,
Phillips, I mean, he's definitely earned his cash. I mean, they would have spent a lot on him, and why not? Go out and get a ruckman. Hayden Smith, bittersweet moment for him because he has been the star of this club. Sam Siggins, another bittersweet moment. I can only help but feel for Clarence because these guys, Drewy, have been the number 2 seed right from round 1 up until the prelim final. And Lauderdale have, I'd probably call it a mugging. They have literally opened up the door, they've robbed them, stripped them of everything, and they'll go home now. You can only help feel for them. Spear Iron, second year in a row. They haven't just been quite on their best when it comes down to the pointy end of the season. What a game, Drew.
It was indeed. Hope you've enjoyed the coverage. Andrew calling and Bo down. I'm calling the action for you at Bellerive Oval. We'll be back next week in the north with the grand final from UTAS. It'll be the Northern Bombers, North Launceston, taking on the Lauderdale Bombers in a Bombers derby to end the TSL competition. A 1-point victory in today's preliminary final. From us at Blundstone Arena. It's bye for now.